Hi friends, welcome back to another video. If this is your first time seeing my face, hi, I'm Kiani. Thank you so much for taking time out of your day to watch this video. Today I figured I would run through my Boox Palma 2, kind of review pros and cons, thoughts, yap session, whatever you want to call it, and just talk to you guys about my Boox Palma 2, how I use it, what I like about it, what I don't like about it, all the nitty gritty and all of that kind of stuff. Let me preface my entire video by saying I am not a tech bro. I'm going to call this an I'm just a girl review. That means that I know nothing about the specification of this device, how it runs, none of that. Quite honestly, I don't care. I use it mostly as an e-reader. There are some things about the Boox Palma 2 that appeals to the tech crowd that I'm not necessarily interested in. Again, features I don't use. We'll get deeper into that in the video. But yeah, if you want to see all of my thoughts on the Boox Palma 2, then continue watching. Okay, so first things first, let's talk about the price of the Boox Palma, because you might see this price and think, oh hell no, like I immediately don't need this device. But the Boox Palma 2 runs for $279.99 before tax within the US. I don't know how that transfers to like Canadian dollars or anywhere else, but you have a color choice between a black and white for that price. And if you order directly through Boox's website, it does come with a case, and that case is kind of similar to this one. It has no like flop screen cover, but it does protect the back. $279.99 is a lot of money. And there's a reason why I asked for this as a gift and didn't use my own money to purchase this. That is because I think $279.99 for a phone-sized e-reader is insane. It's insane. I'm just forever grateful that I have family members who value my love for books, and they were able to make it work so that way I could have this device, so I am blessed for them. But with that being said, Boox, their website, they offer an extra case, so that is an incentive if you order directly from Boox to be able to have that case included. Now, if you want to pay $6 more directly through Boox's websites, you get 2 cases, and that includes that case that looks similar to the case that I have, which is just a matte transparent case, as well as a flip fold protective case as well too. Now, when I say flip fold, that means that it literally just has a flap on the front that covers the screen. So that's a little bit extra protection for your Boox Palma. I do have that case. I don't use it. Again, tying back into those dexterity issues, it adds too much width to the case to make it even comfortable for me to hold. So I don't use it. That's one of the things that I don't use as far as like what came with my device. I did order my device directly through Boox because I felt like for an extra $6 to have that case just in case I ever needed it or decided I changed my mind. I do have that case. I am also pretty sure that the flip fold protective case has a way that you can like prop the books up to use it as like a screen per se. I don't know, you could watch YouTube on here probably. I don't think it would be the most enjoyable experience, but it does hold it up like this, and there's like a little triangle fold at the back. I do not know where my case is, so I cannot show you guys that in real time, but it does hold it up like this as far as the flip fold case. Now here's another thing to consider. With the Boox Palma, the original one, not the 2, they are running sales for it right now. I think right now they're running a sale where it's like $200 rather than $279.99. So if you want to get the older generation, you could always opt for that too. Also check Facebook Marketplace as well too. You never know what people near you might have available, but they do have sales on the original generation. Now my only kind of like hiccup with the original generation is that it runs on like Android 10 or 11, which is a really, really old Android system. The reason why I opted for the Boox Palma 2 is because I don't know when Kindle, the app, is going to say that Android 11 can no longer use their app, and so that was a concern for me. I think the Boox Palma 2 runs on Android 13, so it's a little bit more of an updated system, and I felt more comfortable dropping that price or having somebody spend that money on an updated Android system. Now, mind you, either way, the price didn't change between the Boox Palma 1 and the Boox Palma 2. They just made updates and kept the price the same. So that's why I opted for the Boox Palma 2 over the Boox Palma 1. Even though it was on sale right after buying it. I am a Black Friday baby, so I always try to shop the sales. But this one was worth just paying full price. Now, here's another thing to consider. You can order from Amazon if you do not want to wait for Boox's website to ship to you. They do offer it on Prime. Colors that are on Prime are always varying. And another thing that you don't get with the Amazon price is you're not going to get that case. So I think that A, ordering directly from Boox, you do get the extra cases. And B, if you're one person that doesn't want to support Amazon, but you want to get this device, order directly from Boox. But if you don't want to wait and you want to get a better case, then go ahead and just buy from Amazon and get a better case. It's as simple as that. But the price is still going to be the same. It's going to be the $279.99. And if you're a Prime member, you get it in 2 days rather than a week. Honestly, Boox shipping is really fast. I did not have to wait that long. So yeah, those are things to consider when you're thinking about that $279.99 price tag. One of the bigger things to consider though, and I think this is the bigger thing to consider, is what are you looking for in an e-reader? When you think of that $279.99 price tag, I want you to compare that to other e-readers. Is that something that's important to you? Is that you have a small display that can fit in your hand, that's easy to put in your purse? This is literally the purse Kindle, not that little MP3 player that was going TikTok viral that literally sucks. But this is the purse Kindle that people are talking about, you know? It literally is a phone that fits in your purse. Is that something that's important to you? Or let's run that price by other e-readers. $279.99. I know the Kindle Colorsoft is having a lot of issues with like the yellow banding. People just don't think that the quality is up to par. Those are things for you to consider as well when you purchase that device if you're even thinking about the Kindle Colorsoft, but you could have a color e-ink display for the exact same price. And Amazon is running sales on their Kindle Colorsoft quite frequently right now. Another thing to consider, do you want that color e-ink display? Or, hey, you want color e-ink, but you want more features than just the color e-ink. You could save $50 from the $279.99 price tag and go for the Kobo Libra color for $219.99, which not only gets you the color e-ink display, you have Libby/Overdrive built directly into your e-ink device. You also have annotated features. You can buy a stylus separately. Now I know Kobo offers a stylus. That one runs about $70, but you can find other styluses through Amazon that work with the Kobo color. So if annotated features is something that you're interested in, maybe opt for the Kobo Libra color. The Kobo Libra color also has the page turning button similar to the Kindle Oasis. Again, you're saving $50 for a lot more features. Are those things that are important to you? Or if you just want color e-ink, you don't want to drop a whole bunch of money on it, you just want the color, maybe opt for the Kobo Clara color. I'm pretty sure that the Kobo Clara also has Overdrive built right into it, which again is Libby. You could do that. Or if you're not even worried about color e-ink, maybe opt for just the Kindle Basic or a Kindle Paperwhite, which again runs you almost $100 cheaper, $100 to $150 cheaper actually for opting for the Kindle Basic than what the Boox Palma 2. These are things that you have to think about when you sit down and really think about whether this device is meant for you. I am spoiled in the fact that I do have a lot of different e-reader devices. I ask for a lot of these as gifts for anniversaries, birthdays, and whatnot. So I save them for special occasions. But I can say that with all of my different devices, while I reach for my Boox Palma 2 a lot when I'm going places, when I'm at home and I'm reading, if you're not a person that reads outside of your home, I would not recommend this device. But if you're somebody that reads at home or reads outside a lot, this might be great. It's not the first e-reader I reach for when I am home. I will say that. So just things to consider before you drop $279.99 on this device. And another thing too that I want to say, I don't think that it's said enough in the consumerism world, is don't fall victim to consumerism traps. And I'm not saying that the Boox Palma 2 is a consumerism trap, but if all of the girlies have a Boox Palma or all of the girlies have a Kindle Colorsoft, you don't necessarily need a Colorsoft to sit at the cool kids table, or you don't need a Boox Palma 2 to sit at the cool kids table. I just want to make this video as an informative way to keep you guys informed on the pros and the cons of this device and anything else that comes with it. But you do not have to have the latest and greatest device to stay relevant in this world. And I just want that to be known, because I feel like that's not known enough, and that is also me telling myself that I don't need to have the latest and greatest of everything to stay relevant or to be cool or sit at the cool kids table. You are a cool kid all on your own. You are always welcome at my table. So yes, $279.99 for the Boox Palma 2. Really, really think that price through. And make a list of the things that you think you need to prioritize when it comes to purchasing your next e-reader. Okay, so now I'm just going to run through Boox's website and just kind of touch on all of the topics that they have in their overview of the Boox Palma 2 and just how they kind of relate to my experience with the Boox Palma. It's a great way to keep me organized in this video to give you guys all of the pros and cons. I have ADHD and I will get off track so quickly. So jumping right in, let's talk about the display. Boox's website reads, "As if eyes rest on real paper. The paper-like display makes Palma 2 the most pleasing thing to stare at. All the text and images come into view with elegant details, crisp and clear. It's like thumbing through a pocketbook in your palm." And it has a Carta 1200 display with stunning contrast and clarity, and it also has 300 ppi, which is high screen resolution. Now, I will go ahead and show you guys what a page looks like on my Palma right now. I'm just going to go ahead and turn down the color temperature or the warm light on this so you guys can see it. This is what the words on a page looks like with the Boox Palma. Sorry, it's going to take a second to adjust because it's raining outside and it's gloomy. But that's what the words look like on the page. Honestly, as far as devices go, it holds up with your Kindle Paperwhite or your Kindle Basic. Same thing. I do think that the Kindle Basic is a little bit more crisp than this one. I just find that if I'm going to look for the crispiest display, again, not the device that I reach for first, this device really is just great for, I have a Disneyland annual pass, it's great for reading in lines, or even if I'm bored on a ride, I can read on a ride, or if I'm sitting at lunch and I don't want to have like a huge Kindle that's taking up space in my purse because I like to carry as little as possible, this is good for that. But as far as display goes, it's your everyday average display. I think it's all right. I'll show you guys what the home screen looks like, so that way you guys can see kind of what it looks like. And mind you, I do have a black screensaver on this one. The screensavers are very crisp. I will say that any screensaver that you add to this, as long as it's not too heavy on the detail, is going to be beautiful. Again, I'll show you the lock screen so that way you guys can kind of see what that screensaver looks like without a bunch of apps behind it. And I apologize for the glare on my screen. I do have a matte screen protector on it, but the quality is good enough for me. Again, I'm not a tech bro. I'm just a girl. I think it works well enough. And the display is crisp enough that it doesn't bother my eyes or anything like that. So moving further down on the overview of the Boox Palma, the next section says, "Easy one-hand grip. Unlock with a tap. With its sleek phone-sized design, Palma 2 is hand-friendly and ideal for long-term use. The fingerprint recognition allows you to unlock your device with a simple touch, enhancing both privacy and efficiency. It's got a 6.13-inch display, and it's 170 grams in weight." So again, I said before, it's comparable to size with a cell phone. It's very small, very thin, super easy to hold in your hands. I find that it's comfortable. It's the most comfortable e-reader by far for me to just hold and read. I don't use a pop socket with it or anything like that, even though I do have the MagSafe ring on there. Sometimes I will use it because I like to like twiddle with it and like spin it around on the e-reader when I'm bored. But that's just me. As far as the fingerprint button goes though, one thing that I don't necessarily like about the fingerprint recognition, well, first things first, I can't even use it because my case that I have on here is for the Boox Palma 1, and this top button here is the fingerprint display, so it covers it because the Boox Palma 1 didn't have fingerprint display. So I don't even use it. But when I did have a case that had that readily available and I could use it, you have to have the password to have the fingerprint recognition on, and so like that was annoying. And I know that you have the option to put a passcode on like your Kindles and your Kobos and stuff like that. I just think that like it's an e-reader. Nobody's going to get access to like personal information on it. I don't have anything on there of personal information or value. So for it to have the passcode on it and I have to log in every time, like that gets annoying. So I don't use the fingerprint scanner thing. And I also think I don't use it because phones don't use it anymore. I'm so used to Face ID that like, oh, I just pick up my phone automatically unlocks. So yeah, just something I don't use is the fingerprint scanner. Now we're getting into refresh rates. So it says unmatched speed, never seen on e-paper. Boox super refresh, exclusive refresh technology. It's got an octa-core CPU, which it can manage multiple tasks with ease. And it has 4 different refresh modes. It has HD, balanced, fast, and ultra fast. And on the Boox Palma 2, I think there was recently an update that added the Regal refresh mode as well too, which I will just open my Kindle app and kind of show you guys what the refresh menu looks like so that way you guys can see it. This is what the refresh menu looks like. Again, there's Regal on the very end, but you have the choices of HD, balanced, fast, ultra fast, and Regal. They all do different things, meaning that you can customize your refresh rate to different apps. And the cool thing about the Boox is that it saves all that information. So once I set a certain app to say HD, then it'll save that. But if I want to jump into a different app and send it to, or set it to Regal, I can do that. And every app has a different refresh rate if you so choose. One thing with the refresh rate that kind of gets annoying to me though, and I don't know if this directly contributes to the refresh rate, but I do find that the ghosting on this device can be a little annoying. I do find that often you can see the ghosting. It's very apparent in the background of whatever you're currently looking at. It never works the way that I want it to. So let me see if I can get it to kind of show you guys what the ghosting aspect of it looks like. Okay, so here you can kind of see. You can see at the very top. It's very minimal, but you can see the apps from the previous screen, which if we can scroll, now you can kind of see the search bar in the middle of the screen as well too. I just personally click the screen refresh button whenever it bothers me too much, and it doesn't bother me after that. Now I don't necessarily think that the ghosting is technically a device problem. It could just be that I haven't tampered with the settings enough to get the ghosting to be a little bit more under control. That's another thing to note with this device is when you think of a Kindle or you think of a Kobo, it pretty much comes out of the box like move-in ready. So you're able to just like start reading and like really get down to it. That is not the case with the Boox device. Let me tell you that now. So if you're like somebody that's not about to like have 1,000,001 settings to even get to an enjoyable experience, do not spend the $280 on this device. I did not know that going into this. I opened the box and was immediately disappointed. I'm not disappointed anymore because I've messed with it to get it to where it's an enjoyable experience for me. But if you want out of the box move-in ready, this device is not for you. Okay, like it's just not. I still need to watch some more reviews and like how-to guides on how to really get that ghosting under control. And once I do that, I think it will be a more enjoyable experience. But again, not a move-in ready device, so those are just things to think about. The ghosting can get a little bit annoying if you're doing things besides reading on this device. So for example, because it is that open Android system, you can have, like I have Monopoly Go on there. This is not a device for Monopoly Go. Like it's really not. But like Monopoly has ghosting, which is reasonable. But like even if I'm using Audible or I have Libro FM as well too, I find that sometimes the ghosting will then transfer over into the ghosting of what like the audiobook is playing goes into the book when I go to exit out of that app and go into the Kindle to like immersive read my book. So ghosting is a thing to think about. If you don't want to have 1,000,001 settings to do right when you open this device to make it a more enjoyable experience for you, do not purchase this device. Just putting that out there. So hopping back into that open Android OS system, Boox's website says, endless choices with an open Android OS. Palma 2 runs on an open Android system with a pre-installed Google Play Store. Download your favorite apps to read, listen, meditate, and manage. This incomparable versatility makes Palma 2 your companion to find delight and clarity each day. So again, you have that open Android system. You can have pretty much any app that you can think of. I've got Monopoly Go, I've got Libby, I've got Overdrive, I've got Libro FM, Kindle. You can even have Kobo books on here too. I do have Kobo books on here as well. Let's see what else I have. I have Google Photos, and the only reason I have Google Photos on this is because I often on my phone will save wallpapers for this into my Google Photos, so that way I can just easily open my Google Photos here, download them to the device, and make them my screensaver. It does have the camera app, which you can do that. I have New York Times games on here. I have Fable, Storygraph, Goodreads. I have my Roku remote because for the life of me, I cannot find my TV remote. So this also operates as a remote for my TV. I've got New York Times games. There's a lot of different things you can have on here. So keep that in mind. If you want an e-reader that doesn't have distractions, this is not that device either. I don't find myself distracted though when I'm reading on this because I automatically pick this up knowing it's an e-reader. I know that some people are like, oh, the Boox Palma, it's like so distracting because I can have Facebook and Instagram and like all these things. It's not an enjoyable experience to even go on any other apps besides e-reading apps on here. So I don't find that it becomes a distraction. Okay, so diving into some more of those features that they have. They've got a smart toolkit for in-depth reading. Neoreader, Boox's native reading app, is packed with useful tools. You can highlight or underline insightful quotes with a long press, annotate thought-provoking paragraphs, translate selected text into multiple languages. So that's within their own reading app. I'm not sure you can translate within the Kindle app, but you can highlight, and I'm pretty sure you can make notes in the Kindle app as well. So let's just open it up and see if that is something we can do. I do find that highlighting on this device is a little bit annoying because it doesn't always recognize your fingerprint. So let's see if we can highlight. So yes, you can highlight on here as well as you can add notes. So if you feel like you want to add a note, it will just have a little, sorry, again, it's so gloomy. You can add a note at the very top, which you can see the flickering cursor and the keyboard pops up as well. So you can annotate in that matter. It's not like you can take a stylus and like really write in here. Again, if that's something you're looking for, the Kobo Libra would be a better option for you. But you can highlight and make notes like you would with any other Kindle. And then it does have flexible settings that fit your style. Enjoy various reading themes for novels, mangas, or research papers by fine-tuning font spacing and margins to your liking. You can also switch between classic light mode and stylish dark mode for different vibes. Relish reading that adapts to you. So when I say that, again, this device is entirely customizable to your needs, that's one of the reasons too why I was so drawn towards this device, is everybody has different needs when it comes to e-readers. And that's font for people that have like ADHD and dyslexia, light for people that have sensitivity with their eyes, size for people that, have dexterity issues or, joint pains and aches and stuff like that. This device, or any of Boox's devices, honestly, are very customizable. So you can tailor the device for you. And that's one of the amazing things that I love about this device in particular. Because when I'm on the go and I'm reading, I find that my needs are different than when I am at home and I can just sit down and be in a comfortable environment and have all of my tools at the ready that are not necessarily attached to my Kindle. So I like that this device is very flexible. And then it does have a front light as well too. So you can adjust the brightness, and it does have a warm light too. So you have a front light and you have a warm light, which this is what it looks like with the brightness turned all the way up. And then turn all the way down is what it looks like as well too. And then you can adjust the warmth to make it as warm or light as you need it. So yeah, full brightness. In the daytime, I don't really need full brightness. I can leave it kind of at like almost the lowest setting and not have an issue with it. I preferably like it lower light. I don't use the front light very often unless I'm reading at night. But again, if I'm reading at night, I'm not reaching for this device. This is really just my on-the-go device. So another thing I love about this device and that kind of gravitated me towards wanting this device is the fact that it has a built-in speaker. So with that being said, that means that I can listen to my audiobooks while opening up the Kindle app on this and immersive reading within my Kindle book. I love reading that way with the audiobook playing in the background. It's easier for me to follow. I've always loved it when somebody read to me, so it kind of brings me back into that space of comfort to be able to have somebody reading me the book while I'm reading along with it. And this is what the speaker sounds like, which I'll turn the volume all the way up so that way you guys can hear it.
Clear that Sydney despises me. As soon as Tor paired us together, She shot me a glare searing enough to cause third-degree burns. Sydney doesn't seem to care much for Vaughn, so that's not it.
Again, it's not the greatest speaker. It does well enough. You can connect your Bluetooth headphones to this and listen to it within your headphones. I've never done that before. Again, not the purpose of me buying this device. If I was going to do that, I would just get my phone and read on my Kindle. But you do have the opportunity to use Bluetooth headphones if you'd like. So one thing that I think is really cool about this device that I also have on my phone as well too, that I think is new and cool that Apple is doing, is the smart button. That is this button on this side here. It means that you can choose between whatever setting you want for it, and it can change settings depending on your mood. So this button has the opportunity for multitasking, full refresh, AI assistant, e-ink center, and screen shots. I use it for the page refresh because I find that, again, I'm just reading on it. So when I just need my page to be refreshed, we just click on it and it fully refreshes the page. So that's what I use that for. And I think that that's great. That just goes into another one of those personalization features. And another thing that made me want this e-reader as well too is, again, you can personalize the screensaver and the wallpaper. That was huge for me. I love having the covers of books on your Kindle as the lock screen. And I just love the fact that I can change my lock screen and wallpaper to whatever I want with whatever mood I'm feeling, because my wallpaper and lock screen changes all the time. So another thing I love about this device, going back into that personalization feature, is the fact that it is ample for storage. It's got 6 gigabytes plus another 128 gigabytes with the option for a micro SD card if you feel the need to have more space than that. So you can add more storage if that's your thing. Keep in mind, book files are really small, so you don't really need too much space. It does have a durable battery. I find that as much as I read on it, the battery life is great. If you're using it as your primary e-reader, it would probably function with the same amount of battery life as a phone, so you'd probably have to charge it every 1 or 2 days. It does have the opportunity to connect to external devices for file transferring, and it is water repellent. That is another thing that I really, really love about any type of e-reader device. It has to be water repellent because I'm always drinking my water, and again, I hit things all the time, and so I often forget that hey, your water is near your e-reader, don't be an idiot. And I'm an idiot and I spill water on my e-reader. So the fact that it's water repellent is very good for me. Another feature that I don't use is going to be the camera that's on the back of this device. It does operate as a document scanner. It's got a 16 megapixel rear camera for convenient document scanning. It's an e-reader. I don't even work in a field that allows me to scan documents. So that's not a feature that I use. So that is really null and void for me. So let's compare the Boox Palma 1 to the Boox Palma 2. I just have my laptop in front of me. Again, I'm on Boox's website. I'm going to just go off of the different specs that they have. When I'm looking at this, I'm not seeing a lot of differences in the specs. So they both have a Carta 1200 monochrome screen. They're both 300 ppi. They both have an octa-core CPU, although the Boox Palma 2 has an upgraded octa-core CPU. They have the super refresh technology. It's got an adjustable front light, the micro SD card slot. The only thing that the Boox Palma 2 has that the one does not have is that fingerprint lock. Again, something I don't even use. It does have these 6 gigabytes plus another 128 gigabytes. It's got 3,950, I think it's milliamps. I don't know how you say that. It's the M capital A lowercase h, whatever you call that. The processing systems are different. The one runs on Android 11 and the 2 runs on Android 13. They both have the Google Play Store. They're both 8 millimeters and they are both approximately 170 grams. The price difference right now for the Boox Palma 1 on Boox Palma's website is $245.99. While the Boox Palma 2 is $279.99. So if you still want this device and you're finding that the differences are not that great, opt for the Boox Palma 1. It'll be fine. You're saving $30, or if you're just well, it's $30, I'm already spending $245, opt for the Boox Palma 2. You really just have to weigh what you need from an e-reader and whether this device is right for you. If you can live without the Android 13 and you can live without the fingerprint lock and you can live without the updated CPU core, go for the 1. If you are all about the specs and you want newer tech, opt for the 2. There's many different things that you could do to kind of fit your niche as far as e-readers go with these devices. All right, friends, and that is everything I have for you as far as the Boox Palma 2. My general consensus is that if I had to purchase this device with my own money, would I do it? Would I not do it? Considering I have a bunch of other e-readers, I would probably not purchase this device with my own money. Again, it was a gift to me, so I am extremely grateful that I even have this device. But if I was sitting and thinking about e-reader solely from an e-reader perspective, there are better devices out there for the same amount or cheaper. Honestly, if I had to compare this device to like my Kobo Libra Color, I would lean more for my Kobo Libra Color than this. I do just love this device because, again, I am a Disneyland annual pass holder. I'm usually on the go, so this is nice to have if I'm in a pinch and I want to read something, or I'm bored at a store or something like that. You know, I have this and it's available and it's readily at my fingertips. It's great, but I would not purchase this device with my own money. That's just my own personal opinion. I find myself reaching for my other e-readers more than I do this device, but I love the device all the same. So if you want to buy this device, I encourage you to buy it. If you don't want to buy this device, don't buy it. Find something else. Find something different. Find something that works for you. But that is it, you guys. Thank you so much for stopping by to watch this video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.